Haruto is a shut-in who prefers staying in his dark room because he always gets bullied. He has stopped having any plans for his future. One day suddenly, Haruto's phone starts glowing and a beautiful goddess with beautiful milk melons greet him. She says that he has been selected to be reincarnated, meaning Haruto must have died in that gloomy room. The goddess offers to give him overpowered magic in this new life, so he must live his life to the fullest. Haruto agrees while thinking that life to the fullest for him means binging anime and games all day long. He knows he's a degenerate, and he likes it. He just wants to live a lazy fantasy life. Well, we'll see about that. He has to start his life as a baby, and he is born to the king and queen of that land, even bearing the royal insignia on his left chest. The king and queen are really happy to have such a healthy boy. Next, they do the magic assessment. Haruto's father is the king, and his mother is someone who defeated the demon king. They expect a high level from him, like 40 or 50, but he only gets 2. That's it, and he has no elemental magic and can only use barrier magic. The king and the queen are utterly horrified, and their first response is to tell everyone that their son died. Haruto is shocked at this style of parenting. Welcome to your fantasy world, kiddo. Meanwhile, the goddess is panicking upstairs because this world can measure magic levels only up to 2 digits, but she went overboard and set Haruto's level to 1002, which is why the king and queen only saw the 2 at the end. Meanwhile, Haruto has been left in the forest with no way out. He can think normally like an adult, but his baby strength is not enough to get him out of the blanket. So he tries the barrier magic, which he's supposed to be good at. It's really easy for him, because of his high level, and he can do all sorts of things with it, like changing shapes, adding color, etc., etc. He just doesn't know he's actually at a very high level, so he puts himself in one of these cubes and makes himself float. Haruto hopes that nothing will attack him. Suddenly, a giant wolf attacks him. Thankfully, his barrier is too strong for it, so it does not break. Haruto creates lots of cubes and throws them at the wolf, but it does little damage. So, he uses the cubes to literally uproot the trees around them, which he uses to crush the wolf. But the wolf gets up again. So, Haruto lifts an entire freaking ecosystem to crush it, but the wolf quickly surrenders. And it turns out to be a woman, judging from its voice. The wolf talks to him, but Haruto can't talk back. So he creates a cube that can convert sound and puts it in his throat. Now he can talk, and the wolf is shocked. She says that she can sense mana in him that far exceeds normal humans. She asks him if he's the reincarnation of the demon lord. Haruto has no plans of saying that he was a loser in his previous life, so he says, "Yes, I am the demon lord." The wolf is shocked and says that Haruto can kill her now, but Haruto thinks it's too excessive and spares her. The wolf is amazed by the demon lord's generosity and vows her loyalty to him. Since she is from a species called the flame Fenrirs, Haruto gives her a new name, Fle. But suddenly Haruto falls to the ground. He is facing a major issue that cannot be solved by barrier magic. He wants breast milk cuck. Seriously, remember that he's just a one-day-old kid? He tells his situation to Fle, who does something about it. She turns into a human, a very naked human. Haruto realizes how hot she is, so he asks her to put on some clothes. He converts a barrier in stretchable spandex and covers her with it, making her even more hot. Fle offers to give Haruto her milk, but for that, she needs to be pregnant. And for that, she needs Haruto's seed within her. Oh, this is getting weird now. Haruto quickly denies her and Fle becomes a little sad and apologizes for being too excited. Suddenly, they hear someone approaching them. So Haruto creates 2 cubes that can transfer their thoughts. It turns out to be a jacked warrior wearing full-body armor. Except for the most important part, that is the head. He says that he's here for the baby, being Haruto. But Fle refuses to hand him over as she's given her loyalty to him. The man says that he's a relative of the baby and he can back here to save him. He's also brought breast milk for him. Haruto happily tells Fle to take the milk, but Fle does not listen to him, and instead gets offended because she herself can't make breast milk right now. He says that his own child died right after birth. He knows that Haruto was abandoned because of his low mana level, but he does not care about that as he believes all humans should have the chance to live. Fle melts after hearing the story and starts to cry. The man then offers to take in Fle as his attendant, because that way, she can watch over Haruto. The man smashes Haruto's basket and pours some blood over it to make it look like Haruto was killed. 9 years later, Haruto has now grown up under the care of the man and his family. The man's name is Margrave, and he's a nobility as well with his own nice castle. Haruto had planned to leave Margrave's home after he was not dependent on breast milk, but the kindness in the family made him stay. However, Margrave's daughter, Charlotte, seems to dislike him, but she's really happy with Fle. Charlotte asks to play with Fle, but she refuses, saying she only does things for Haruto. So Haruto tells her to play with Charlotte. The two girls play in the garden, and Charlotte seems really happy to be with her compared to being with Haruto. Charlotte's mother tells him to not let it bother him, saying that Charlotte is probably shy only because she doesn't know how to act around boys of her age. She suggests that he can prove to be a good brother by doing something special for her. But Haruto doesn't know what to do as he sucks at social settings. Haruto wonders if he should just leave, but then Fle would come with him, and that would make Charlotte hate him even more. For the past 9 years, he has planned to leave without making anyone sad, so he has been perfecting barrier magic to create a clone that looks and feels exactly like him. But he has not been able to make it move and talk yet. And then he realizes that if he's going to leave without making anyone sad, he needs to make a Fle clone as well. Later, Margrave calls him to give him his first sword training, saying that he has a low mana level, so he needs to perfect other skills. Haruto tries to weasel his way out of it, saying that he's improving on other fields by learning about ancient magic. Margrave is impressed that he's looking at other options, but he still commands Haruto to learn swordsmanship. Margrave is a seasoned warrior known as the Earth-Shattering Warhammer. So Haruto puts a shield around himself and uses it to launch himself at Margrave and attack him. Margrave dodges, but Haruto creates a huge hole in the ground, shocking Margrave. Next, Margrave launches his own attack, but Haruto uses the barrier to jump really high and dodge the attack. Margrave is amazed at Haruto's attack and dodging, saying that there's something impossible for someone under level 30. Haruto is also shocked at himself. Remember guys, Haruto himself does not know that his actual level is 1002. Once, he created a testing crystal that could see up to 3 digits, but even then he got 002. The highest ever level in history had a level of 77. So, he's sure that his own level is not in the thousands. Oh, if only he knew. Margrave also thinks that Haruto might have a special hidden skill, but for now, he pushes Haruto to become a better swordsman. Charlotte witnesses the whole thing. That night, Margrave tells his wife that Haruto might be a reincarnated demon. According to secret royal records, there was a man who had done the honka-honka with demons. And there have been rare cases of people showing demonic traits. On top of that, no one really knows the secret of the royal insignia that Haruto has. Also Fle, being a demon, is always following Haruto. Margrave's wife is in denial and says that Haruto is a normal boy. Margrave also promises to raise him like a normal happy child no matter what happens. Charlotte was supposed to be sleeping next to them. She overhears everything. She also thinks that there's no way Haruto could be a demon. Then she goes to sleep again. One day there is a lot of commotion in the castle. Margrave has just come back after attacking a bandits' base. However, the bandits launched an ambush on them, and Margrave lost lots of men while many others got injured. Despite all his best preparations, his soldiers are now fighting for their lives after being beaten so badly. He says that this scene will be too much for Haruto because he's young, but Haruto does not care. His demon servant Fle is mocking Margrave for losing to a bunch of thieves, but Haruto becomes serious and tells Fle to shut up. Because of the massive power emanating from him, she becomes scared and shuts up. Haruto pretends to go back to the castle, but on the way, he creates tons of barriers that can heal the soldiers. The soldiers are immediately cured of their cuts and other injuries, and everyone starts celebrating. Margrave himself is in shock at what happened. Of course, no one knows that it was Haruto who did it. That night, Fle comes to Haruto's room, but she does not say anything. Haruto realizes that it's probably because he told her to shut up earlier during the day. He apologizes and says that she can speak. Fle also says sorry. Then, Haruto creates from surveillance barriers and to look for the men that attacked Margrave. He finds a group of thieves in their hideout. However, he notices that not all of them look like thieves. Some of them look like soldiers, so he puts barriers around himself and Fle, and they fly to the location. However, Charlotte, Margrave's daughter and Haruto's sister, sees them flying. The bandits are celebrating outside while their main leaders are drinking inside the fort, happy that they defeated Margrave because Margrave is supposed to a great warrior. Haruto enters and traps them in his barriers. He questions them and learns that they are actually soldiers from the neighboring kingdom. They disguised themselves as bandits and entered Margrave's province to create mayhem here. Fle notes that there should have been Imperial soldiers guarding the borders, but the men say that they had an insider in the Imperial army. Haruto realizes that this takes a lot of influence, even more than his father's. The men promise to call off his operation. Haruto thanks them for their cooperation, and they become happy. Then, Haruto orders Fle to burn down this fort, and the men become unhappy. Haruto says that they attacked his father. So, there's no way he's letting them go. Fle burns the men alive, destroying the fort in the process and killing many other bandits. As they are returning, Haruto decides to send an anonymous letter to his father explaining what happened. The next day, Margrave gets the letter. He is shocked that the border garrison let soldiers from the neighboring kingdom get in. He comes to realize that their empire is conspiring against him. Charlotte is with him, so she asks who took care of the bad guys. Margrave has his suspicions of Fle because of the efficient and ruthless that fire was used to destroy the fort, which is something that points towards her. So Charlotte goes to Fle and asks her if there are two Harutos. Fle asks her, "What the hell?" So Charlotte reveals that she saw her flying last night with Haruto. So she went to Haruto's room to check, but she saw him in there, fast asleep. Also, she did not sense the same dangerous aura that she usually does around Haruto. This is probably because the sleeping Haruto is the clone that he's making. Fle is surprised that Charlotte can also sense Haruto's immense powers. She talks about how Haruto is a great person, with powers that far exceed normal humans. Charlotte asks if she knows who Haruto really is. Fle says yes, but she won't reveal it. She's probably thinking about how Haruto said that he's the Demon Lord reborn. Then she goes and tells Haruto about her conversation with Charlotte. Haruto becomes worried that Charlotte is finding him even more suspicious. So he makes a surveillance system that will go off when anything suspicious happens around Charlotte. That night, Haruto wakes up to go to the toilet, but Charlotte follows after him. He tries to talk to her, but she just runs away. He goes for a bath, and Charlotte is spying on him. This goes on for several days. Wherever Haruto goes, whatever he is doing, Charlotte is spying on him. One day, Margrave says that Natalie and Charlotte will be going to an annual festival. Usually Margrave would go, but this year, he is too busy, so Haruto's mother and sister will be going. Haruto suggests that they take Fle along with them, but Natalie replies that they haven't seen Fle lately. Haruto remembers that he asked Fle to intimidate the monsters so that they wouldn't attack the villages and towns, and she's doing a pretty damn good job because of how strong she is. Natalie and Charlotte go to the festival. Sometime later, all of Haruto's surveillance goes off. Something is happening to Charlotte. Turns out their group has been attacked, and that too by Imperial soldiers. This is just basic political backstabbing. Natalie takes Charlotte and runs away, and the Imperial soldiers attack them. So, Natalie uses her own magic to stop their attacks. But there are too many of them for her to fight properly. Suddenly, a box appears on Charlotte's ears, and someone tells her to go in a particular direction. She points the way, and Natalie runs there. They reach a cliff, and Charlotte tells her to jump. So, Natalie jumps while activating the magic seal while holding her daughter. Honestly, what a badass. They land with some injuries, but overall, they're both fine. They find a cave nearby which is full of luminous moss. Natalie puts Charlotte in the corner and tells her that she's going to find the person who gave her instructions to come here. She says that whoever it is must be a hero of justice, someone who punishes evildoers. Charlotte cries and tells her not to go, but Natalie says that she needs to find the person who's protecting them. The moment she goes out, the cave's mouth is covered with an advanced illusion magic. Just then, the Imperial soldiers arrive and prepare to capture her. Natalie decides that she cannot be taken captive here, so she brings a dagger to neck to end her own life. She starts crying while thinking about her husband, son and daughter, and bringing a dagger closer and closer. But suddenly, it shatters, and she falls unconscious. Haruto arrives just then and grabs her. Turns out, he has been traveling here at full speed, and he just reached just in time. He becomes extremely angry because this time, the soldiers have really crossed the line. He uses powerful barrier magic to knock the soldiers back and send them crashing into the trees. Then he takes his mother into the cave and tells Charlotte that it's all okay. He keeps talking to her in a different voice so that she won't find out his identity. But Charlotte can sense that scary amount of mana and knows that it's her brother Haruto. She comes out and calls his name, and he accidentally shows his face. She asks him if he's a hero of justice. Haruto decides to play along with her and says, he is a hero of justice. She asks if he's going to use his powers to fight evildoers. He says yes again. Charlotte says that her mother taught her that the hero of justice punishes evildoers. She says that she's been wrong about Haruto all this time and he's actually a good person. Haruto asks her to keep his identity a secret, so Charlotte says yes, saying that she'll lie to their father if she has to. Then, He goes out to deal with the men outside. That night, Margrave gets the message that Natalie and Charlotte are safe. Fle has joined them, so they should be fine now. The bodyguards that were injured were spontaneously healed again, like last time. Margrave wants to thank the person who is helping them, but clearly, they have no intention of revealing themselves. He asks Haruto's opinion on the matter. We replies that they should continue being good, and the secret person will probably stay on their side. He says that no matter how many Imperial soldiers attack, the secret person will take care of them. Margrave points out that he never mentioned any Imperial soldiers. So Haruto quickly makes up some excuse about how bandits would attack villages, not Natalie and Charlotte. They talk about this for some time, until Margrave also comes to the correct idea that someone on the inside is trying to sabotage them. He talks about a woman who is probably responsible behind all this. Just then, Charlotte and Natalie return home, and Margrave hugs them tenderly. Then, Charlotte jumps into Haruto's arms, hugs her properly for the first time in her life. The parents are surprised, and Charlotte adds that she loves Haruto now. Fle looks on with jealousy. That's all for now. The rest in the next video.